In. Okay, our first problem. I'll use this. Geometric mean. Do y'all remember doing the arithmetic mean?
Is the mean like the average?
The mean is the average. So for the arithmetic, yes, you would add them up and divide by 2 for the arithmetic mean. But we're doing a geometric mean. It's not the same thing. Okay? You multiply them and square root. Okay? So for geometric mean, you're going to multiply the two numbers and take the square root. So like on this one, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. It's 48 and 3. And it says, what are the possible values of the missing terms? Why does it say possible values? We'll get to that in a second. So what's 48 times 3?
144.
So out of the square root of 144, which is 12.
How do you do the square root in calculator?
It's second, and then go down
Second square.
to this. It's there. You go. Do you see it? Second square.
Second.
Okay.
X squared.
Second x squared. All right. So what's the other one though? Look at your multiple choice answers. It has plus or negative. Why does it have both options? Because the square root of 144, you can multiply 12 times 12 or what? Negative 12 times negative 12. That's why it says there's two possible values. So 48, and it could be either one of those, and then 3. Okay, that's what you're saying. To get to your pattern. Okay, because you could be dividing by 4 every time, or you could be dividing by what? Negative 4 every time. Anyway, so that's kind of weird. Now notice I said 4 and negative 4, but it's looking for the possible terms. Your answer is C. Is everybody good with that? Yeah? That one should be simple. Let's see, the 9th and 11th terms are 45 and 80. See, they just kind of word it funny. They don't list them. So it says your 9th and 11th terms, so you're missing, you should have that. So I have 45, I don't know my 10th term, and then I have 80, and it's a geometric sequence. So you, again, take the square root of 45 times 80, and there's 2 possibilities, okay? I don't know what it is. I'm just going to look on.
60.
You got plus or minus 60. Okay. Yeah, it could be 60 or it could be negative 60. Is everybody okay with, there's 6 problems on your paper today, I think. That's 4 of them. Are we good with that? Okay, let me see what else I have on your paper. Let me pause this for a second. Well, let's see what else. That should be, there we go. And now, yes, that's on those. Now, our other 2 problems are word problems. So I'm going to do this one first. And this will take us a minute because we got to go back to geometric sequence. Okay. So let me think real quick. It says more physics. A ball bounces and the height of the consecutive bounces, they form a geometric sequence. Remember geometric, we're multiplying by the same number, which in this case, we're going down. So we might be multiplying by a fraction. But what are the heights of the 4th and 5th bounce? So am I covering some? No, it looks like, what's my first bounce? 100. And then what's my third bounce is 49. Okay, does everybody understand that? I know my first and third. I almost think, why don't I just find, let's see, I don't know if I can do that with this one because it's not asking for that. I won't do it that way. Okay, now let's go back to our formula the other day, the explicit geometric formula. If you know, I can find this out. I know my first term and I know my third term. Let me just write my formula down. This one's kind of more difficult. So I've got a sub n equals my first term times my rate to the n minus 1. Okay, I don't know.
The n is a.
So I'm trying to find my rate. Is what I'm trying, my ratio. I call it rate, but it's ratio. N, so what's my first term? My first term is 100. This was given to me in those bounces. Okay? Now, I know my third term. Okay? Oh, I meant, that's not my third term. My third term was what? 49.
Explicit.
Does everybody understand? Yeah, I'm using the explicit. My third term is 49. So I can plug in 3 minus 1. Right? I just used third term and 49. That's my first term. I'm trying to find my R. Would you all remember doing this this was the harder problem
Yes.
when we did arithmetic. Now, what is 3 minus 1? 2. Y'all were asleep. Okay. Times R squared. This is a little bit more difficult. How would you get R by itself? Ignore the square. That's coming. Divide by 100 first. But yes, that's coming. So I'm going to divide by 100. So R squared equals 49 over 100. Then, what would I do to solve? Ayla was telling me. Square root better. So I get 7/10. That's my R. So I would multiply by 7/10 each time. Okay, I don't know if that's what we're trying to find just yet. Let me get to that in a second. Okay, it just said the heights. Let me go back to my question. I've got the height of the first term and the third term. It wants the fifth bounce. Okay, and the fourth. And the fourth. So if my third bounce was 49, how do I find my fourth bounce or my fifth bounce? Well, we're multiplying by our rate, which is what? 7/10. What is 49 times 7/10?
34.3.
34.3. That would be my fourth bounce. How would I find my fifth bounce? Multiply that by 7/10. Okay, so my fourth bounce is right here. That's my fourth. If I wanted my fifth bounce, I would multiply that by 7/10. Okay, kind of get it? No?
Wait, so to find your second, you do 100 times 17?
So I wanted to find my rate, my ratio. So are you talking about from the beginning or are you talking about from here? Yeah.
Like finding what the second bounce is.
I didn't find the second bounce. They wanted me to find my fourth bounce or my fifth bounce. I can find that if I can find my ratio. So to find my ratio, I can solve for R. If I can plug in every other number in here, then I can leave R and solve for it. Okay, because the ratio is what you just multiply by every time. If I can find that, then I can find all these terms. So what I did was I said, okay, this number is 49, if I'm looking for my third term. So if I plug in 3, 49 goes with that. And then here's my first term. If I just solve for R, so I work through and solve for ratio, and then I'm multiplying. The bad thing about the word problems is, sometimes, I don't know, it might be different each time. We'll kind of look at the word problems together. There's 2. What I want y'all to do is do those first 4 problems super easy. Multiply square root, right? Do those first 4 problems. Look at your word problems and we can do those together. This is not on the quiz. Like none of this today is on the quiz. Okay? So, and I promise y'all in this whole chapter, I picked the easier stuff. Like I'm not picking because my favorite things that we'll do come in the next 2 lessons series. So I'm not gonna do the difficult word problems. Okay, let me pause it. All right. So on this one, y'all see I told you the word problems on here are not as bad as the ones in the book. I didn't like the one I did in the book. But here we go. This one is like one we already have. And luckily this one, they tell us the whole 75% thing. Let's just start with our first number. Triangle 1 measuring 52 inches on a side. So I'm going to write that down. Is everybody good with that? That's my first term. Now, to find my next term, I find 75% of that one. So I just multiply by 0.75. So in my calculator, I'm going to type in 52. I already did it right up there, but here, let me clear it out. 52 times 0.75, and it's 39. So is everybody good with my second term being 39? All right. So, and if you read ahead, you're just trying to see when is it less than 21 inches. Not yet. So what do I do to find my next term? I multiply again by the same number. That's a geometric sequence. So I multiply by 0.75 again. And I'm at 29.25. Okay, let's keep going. I'm not there. Multiply by 0.75 again. And I'm still not under 21, am I? I don't know what that says. 375 maybe? If I multiply by 0.75 one more time, that one went under 21. What term is that? That's the first, second, third, fourth, the fifth term. Does everybody get that one? That's all you were doing. Just multiplying by 0.75. And then number 2, it's not really a word problem like what y'all were doing, like the ones from the book. This one is just, can I erase that or do y'all still need that up there? Anybody still using that for number 1?
That was number 4, right? Triangle 4.
Well, this one was triangle 4. Triangle 5 was 16 point something. Okay, but this is, the fourth one's not your answer. Which one is under 21? Triangle 5. Because it was wanting to know which one is under 21. So that was triangle 5. Okay, on this one, it's using the geometric mean again. It tells you, okay, you know the first term is 18 and the third term is 8. How do you find the next term? Yeah, square root, like 18 times 8. Okay? And then it should give you the answer on that one. It's just like the other 4. So that one shouldn't have been bad. Was this paper okay? Mm-hmm. Now we will, when y'all are done, does anybody have a question on any of them? The last, so I guess all of them but the first one were square root and multiply the numbers. And then I'll start to go over this review in just a second. Does anybody want me to take theirs up yet?
Yeah, you can.
All right, so the first question on the review, this kind of goes way back. It says, I'm going to erase that. Give me just a second. What are the first 5 terms? All right, use the formula. And so you find the first 5 terms. So you plug in the number 1, 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. Do y'all remember that? So for my first term, I would say negative 4 times 1 minus 3. What's that? Miss Amanda? Am I on the wrong thing? Or are you?
Different paper than you.
I made a different paper for y'all?
Yes. I'll take one of those though.
Yeah, I think I just printed this out randomly. So
no, we have a negative.
Okay. Sorry, I'll grab one of y'all's. I can copy this for you in a little bit. Let me go over y'all. Or do y'all want me to go over mine or y'all's? You'll probably want to go over y'all's.
Preferably.
Yeah, and then y'all can, if you want an extra in a little bit, I'll print y'all mine. I'll borrow one of theirs. Okay. Negative 3n plus 2 is y'all's? Okay. Here. Just kidding. Now, same thing though. I'm going to find the first 5 terms and I'm going to plug in 1. So it's negative 3 times 1 plus 2, which is what? I just put it in my calculator and get negative 1. And can you already tell your answer? I think, well, I don't know. It could be written. You can. This one's the same numbers, but they're written in the wrong order. Do y'all see that? The first term should be negative 1. Okay? And then I'll just go ahead and do one more. If I was trying to find the second term, I would plug in the number 2. And I would get negative 4. So see how it's matching this order right here? So it's D. And then I could keep, do I need to keep going? Or is that okay? Number 2 is easier, or I think it is, because you only have one number to plug in, right? What number are we going to plug in on number 2? 15. Okay, that's all we do. So I'm going to take 9 times 15 minus 13. And what do we get for that? I have no idea. Did y'all got 122?
135.
Let's see, 9 times.
9 times 15 is 135.
15, and then minus 13. Yeah, and you get 122. So your answer on that one is D. Number 2 is D. Everybody good so far? Not a bad quiz. Okay, also, all that up there on the board will still be up there tomorrow. So, like all that recursive stuff, explicit formula stuff. Can I erase that, or are we still needing that? I think we're good. Okay, so number 3, it says write a recursive formula for this sequence and find the next term. That's the other part. So I'm looking for, am I adding or multiplying to get the next term? What am I, or subtracting? I'm subtracting what number? 6. Okay, so I'm going to write it here, subtract 6. So it's, here's my recursive formula up here. I can use that. It's arithmetic sequence. So the first thing I do is say a sub 1 equals, what's my first term? A sub 1 equals, what's my first term on here? 9. So I'd be looking at either this is my answer or that is my answer, right? And then I just match the formula. So it's a sub n
15
equals a sub n minus 1, and then y'all said we're subtracting 6. What recursive formula looks like that? That one. That's the one where I'm subtracting 6. And if I take negative 15 and I subtract 6, what is that? What's negative 15 minus 6? Negative 21. That's that answer. Do we kind of get that? It's just compare that formula that's up there on the board. Okay? Even if you don't understand the formula part, y'all, the first term and the answer narrows it down a lot. And then just know I'm subtracting 6. So that's why it's minus 6. Okay. Next one says explicit. Oh, question? Did you want me to write something down again?
No, no, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
All right. For the explicit formula, we need to first find it and then find the 14th term. So on this one, let's see. What am I doing to get from 7 to 12 to 17 to 22 to 27? What am I doing?
Plus 5.
Plus 5. So I know I'm adding 5. The best thing on this, I think I would do, which you can plug and play. Second term is 12. The third term is 17. Remember when you're trying to find the formula, sometimes it's better to set it up as a table. Maybe I don't think this. But how do I get from 1 to 7? They give you some options. Would you multiply by 5 and then add 7? Does that work? No. Could you multiply by 5 and add 2? Yes. Let's try it. What's 2 multiplied by 5? And add 2. What's 3 multiplied by 5 and add 2? So it looks like I'm multiplying by 5 and adding 2. So I've narrowed it down. Now how do I find the 14th term? What do? Multiply by 5 and then what? Add 2. 5 times 14 plus 2. And what is that going to be? 72. So it's this one. See, they give you answer choices. That's nice. I think the easiest way to do it is to set it up like a table. Okay? Like on this next one, they already have it set up like a table. And that's nice. Because you're going to compare in just a second. Any questions on that one? I'll give you a paper, if you want the other paper, and you can see if you could do that on your own in a little bit. Okay. Can I erase?
No.
Yes, no, yeah. Okay. Number 5. I think y'all are good to move on. Number 5, they've already got it set up like a table. What am I doing to get to from 1 to 2, from 2 to 40, from 1 to 22, 2 to 44, 3 to 66? What am I doing?
Plus 22.
Multiply by 22. Okay, so multiply by 22. What's 1 times 22?
Oh, I thought you meant 22 times 22. I was like,
Oh, no. Now on this I'm adding, but when it's set up like a table, you just go from here to here. You're multiplying those by 22. So which answer looks like you're multiplying by 22? A. That's how you would find your formula. Okay, then I've got, let's see. All right, number 6. Are we ready for number 6? Yes? Okay, is it arithmetic? What do you do for arithmetic? And it even says it on the board. You add or subtract the same number. So am I adding the same number? Yes. What number is it? 5. So it's yes 5. That's it. You're adding 5. Listen. All right, then we're at number 7. Okay, on this one, it's still asking the same question. Is it arithmetic? So look, it looks like there is no geometric stuff on here. Did I do any? I don't think there's any geometric on the quiz. That's fine though. Okay, so am I adding or subtracting the same thing to get from one to the next? The easiest way is to go backwards and see what it is. What are we adding or subtracting? 12.2. Okay, so yes, 12.2. And if you don't know, just try their answer choices and see. Okay, what's this plus 12.2? What's that plus 12.2? It's that. Plus 12.2 is that. So yeah, it's arithmetic. Okay. Let's see. How do you find the 107th term of the sequence? So if I'm looking at my explicit formula over there, okay, I'm going to try and find my 107th term. What's my first term? Oh, here, I'll write the explicit formula down so that you're not confused. It's given to me. It's up there on the board. Okay, so what's my A? What's my first term in my sequence? So it's -5. So I'm going to write -5. N minus 1, what am I trying to find? The 107. And what's my common difference? What am I either adding or subtracting? I'm adding 8. So times 8. So I would put -5 plus 106 times 8. Okay? What's 106 times 8 minus 5? 10. And I get 843. Did y'all get 843? Is everybody okay with that? Okay. So 843. Oops, there it is. All right. Then this one, I need to find the 2 missing terms. Well, how do I go from here to here? What did I do? From -54 to -74. I'm either adding or subtracting. What am I doing?
Subtracting -20.
Yeah, I'm subtracting 20. So what is 6 minus 20? Is that -14?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll put that here. And what is -14 minus 20?
-34.
-34. So those are my 2 answers. Oh, I almost did the wrong one. Then how do you find the missing term of an arithmetic sequence? Which that one, y'all, could you just guess what that one is? You should be able to tell. But if you can't tell that it's 23, then all you do is add these together and divide by 2. That's not what we did today. Today's is different. And that would be 23. Okay? Let me...
You want